What's up? Welcome back. Here's a follow-up, a full detailed review of the Zumverno jerkbait from Shimano. Been fishing a lot lately. Jerkbait fishing has been really good, and this bait has been catching them. I'll tell you all about it, what I like, what I don't like about it now. Thanks everyone for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this content. This channel is about bass fishing tackle, gear, the latest and greatest, and a new thing from Shimano is baits. I mean, they've been out for a few years, but they keep trickling more and more baits out there. The latest that I have is the Zumverno 115 jerkbait. It's an awesome jerkbait. It's got their flash boost technology. You can see it flittering and flashing in there. You know, I've never really had a bait like this. I mean, I had the Arma joint, but I haven't had a, kind of a conventional hard bait with this flash boost technology. And what's in it is, it's basically like a foil sheet in there on a spring, and it just kind of flashes and flitters. Even if you stop the bait, it still does it. It still, puts off flash, which is pretty cool. You know, you rip, pause, and that bait is still kind of just flickering there. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if it's that much better. I mean, I can't compare it to, side by side to another jerkbait, but I can tell you this thing caught fish. And it was funny because I caught all kinds of fish on this. I'm doing a lot of live scope fishing, ripping it, and I had all kinds of fish coming up and hitting it. I caught white bass, caught 2 catfish on it the same day, which is crazy. I can't remember the last time I caught a catfish on a jerkbait, let alone 2 in the same day. Caught bluegill on it, caught Guadalupe bass on it, and of course largemouth bass on it. So it gets bit, I can say that for sure. 3 different lakes that I fished. I fished 3 each week. I went to a different lake, and this was one of my top baits at each of them. Now, fishing the jerkbait, there's a lot of good jerkbaits out there. I mean, I just did that video on underrated jerkbaits. There's a lot of really good ones out there. I'm of the opinion that you should try to have a lot of different jerkbaits versus just using the same one over and over. There are certain days when you need something that dives a little bit deeper. There's certain days where they maybe want this flash. Maybe there's something else about a bait that makes it better over one day over another. But I can tell you again, this one catches fish. And I liked how quickly it got down. I'm gonna pull this thing out and tell you a little bit about it. And another cool little feature about it is this is not a deep diver. Let me pull this thing off. Let me cut this thing off, it'll be a little easier to show you. So it's a MR, a medium runner or medium range. So this thing will dive 9 feet pretty easily. And again, I'm watching this with my forward facing sonar. I got 12 pound Invisex from Seagar on there, and it will hit 12 pounds with ease. But the cool thing about this, and what I really like about this and a few other jerkbaits that do it, it's a slow sinking bait, and it's very slow. I was kind of trying to count. Basically, it will go down 1 foot every 3 seconds. So that's just kind of my rough math. So I just counted 6 seconds and it went down 2 feet. I saw it on my forward facing sonar, which is cool. Obviously there's some factors there with wind, your line, there's so many factors with that, but that's kind of gives you a rough idea of how slow it sinks. So the rate of fall, if you will, is 1 second or 3 seconds for every 1 foot. And what's cool about that is if you see a fish down there and you're working it and they're just too far, they're not coming up to it. In my experience, you want to get it, within 5 feet or so, maybe 7 feet, 8 feet if they're really aggressive. But if they're down below, you can pause it and let it sink so you can work it into those fish. So slow sinking baits definitely have their time and place, especially when you're watching fish on your screen. So I really like that fact. I like the flash as well. It definitely attracted fish. When it was paused, I got a lot of bites. So that tells me that part of it is the flash in there. Part of it is just, that's a good time to get bit with jerkbaits is when you pause it. But a lot of times you rip it again and that's when they hit it. But they were hitting it on the pause quite a bit. The other thing I like about it is the hooks. These hooks are, I don't know exactly what brand they are, but they are, that new style of coated hooks, kind of like the Gamakatsu Nano Alpha, the Ryugi, the Hayabusa. I mean, everyone's doing it. They are very sharp. Even after catching a lot of fish, they are still very sharp, which is awesome. That's one thing with some jerkbaits. You get a really good jerkbait, but the hooks really bend out easily. Talking about megabass, they are sharp hooks, but they do bend out pretty quickly. These, no such problem. And again, this is with white bass and catfish and things like that, where I am just like, and trying to get off the hook as soon as possible. So they are sharp hooks. They are very strong hooks, and they're really, really good overall hooks. The colors are really good as well. I mean, I don't remember what this color is called. It just kind of looked like a smelt to me. So this is the one I use. They also have the the Pro Blue as well. I haven't cracked this one open yet just because I've been catching them on this one. And then there's also a smaller size, which I really haven't had as much luck with. And that's probably more due to the time that I'm fishing it. You know, also the color's not perfect for where I'm fishing, but this is a 95 and it's a shallow diver. So this one will get down, I don't know, 3 feet or so. It's not very far at all. I mean, I was seeing the bait because it was clear water. I could see the bait visually, not just live scope. I can see it out there. So that didn't give me a lot of confidence where I was fishing. So as a result, I didn't fish it very long, but it's still got the same features, you know, that flash, you can see that flickering in there, really cool. I really do think the flash boost adds something to it. Not all the baits are doing it, you know, not other brands are doing it, so it's just something different. So I really like that about it. I guess if there is one downfall to it, I mean, there's really no very big negatives to it, but I guess the price would be one. This is 23 bucks, so it's not cheap. I mean, you're getting into that Vision 110 territory, which I think this is a very good bait. I think it's comparable. Maybe not as refined as the Vision 110 as far as all the different colors, you know, the dialed in action, but again, it's something different, but it's a very premium product. So I guess if there was one thing to say, it'd be the price. It is not a cheap bait by any means, but with jerk baits, you know, you get what you pay for. You know, when you spend that 15, 16, 20 plus, you're gonna get a bait that is dialed in, that has the right action. And this has a really good action. I, again, like that slow sink. I like that flash. And whatever you want to say about it, it gets bit. I mean, I was really pleased with how it performed. Fished a lot of different jerk baits, and this one was definitely my top producer for those past 3 trips that I took. I went to Lake Travis, I went to Lake Austin, and Lake LBJ, and caught fish at all of them with it. So it's a good looking bait. Again, it has that flash to it. Not cheap, but I really like the Zumverno. And this MR is a good one. It gets down quick, gets down to that 9-foot range, and you can get it even further if you want to. So if you're looking for a new jerkbait, something a little bit different than what everyone else is throwing, this might be it. Thanks for watching.